up your YouTube, search for Stukeley Meadows, watch on your big screen.
Or another device if you're at home.
Get yourself comfy, this could take a while. What a happy scene. Something new every day for your long-term memory. This is so exciting, it is nearly time for a Stukeley assembly.
Good morning everyone and welcome to today's Values Assembly. While we kick off in the usual way with our values, I'm going to sanitise my hands. So here we go. For each other we, every day we, to improve we, and together we will. And our everyday focuses are, and our Stukeley motto is, and our Stukeley curriculum is, and we're going to hold off with the 4 words that make the magic happen till a little bit later in this assembly. So good morning to everyone. Now if you remember last week we talked about 2 things, 2 main words to our assembly. Word number 1 was the word inspiration and being inspired. Word number 2 was community and the part that all of us play in our communities. I also set you the challenge for doing something for your community, whether it was your family community or your school community or your neighbourhood or local area. Now I hope that everyone tried to do something. It didn't have to be a big thing, but it would be great if you tried to do something. It might be an idea for adults at home or in school to pause perhaps for a few minutes and just share some of what may have happened during the course of this week. Now, in terms of our assembly this week, we are going to continue to think about it being inspired and about inspirational people. And we're also going to continue to think about community. Now, you will need your remote learning exercise books because we are going to do a little bit of note taking again. And remember to turn to the back because that way it won't get in a muddle with all your other school tasks that you're busy doing at the moment. Now, I would like you, as your first task during my assembly today, to make a list of up to 5 things that you are really proud of. So 5 achievements that you have achieved in your life so far that have made you feel really proud of yourself. Now they don't have to be big things. They could be big things or they could be small things, but they can be things that you personally are proud of. If you can't think of 5, try and think of at least 1. So pause me now, go. Now, I am sure that everyone managed to think of at least 1 thing. Perhaps for some of you, it might have been when you got your 25-metre badge in swimming lessons, or it might have been if you were made captain of your football team. I don't know, but hopefully everyone came up with 1 thing. Now, the thing is that sometimes those achievements are really big and significant, and sometimes they are less big and maybe less significant to others. The point is that they're important if they are significant to you. Now, just to illustrate this, before Christmas, I decided that I was going to do something that I've not done for about 20 years, since my children that are now grown up were babies. And that is to do some embroidery. Now, embroidery is kind of sort of pattern sewing on fabric that kind of creates a picture, but you use thread and cotton to make the picture. And I'd like to be able to show it to you, but the thing is it was a Christmas embroidery and now it's up in the loft with all the Christmas things and I didn't really want to have to go up and get that down. But the point is I bought a kit and I actually did it, and what's more, I even finished it, and what's more, it even looked quite good and had it hanging up on the wall in my house during Christmas. So that's not a really big thing and it didn't really help anybody out. But for me, it was an achievement because I set myself something I wanted to do and I managed to achieve it. So perhaps for all of you that were there scratching your head thinking, I don't know if I've done anything to be proud of, maybe that can inspire you that it doesn't have to be something too big or too important. Now, the main part of my assembly today is I want to tell you about a little boy, and it's a true story about a real little boy, and his name is Tony Hudgell. Now, Tony Hudgell is now 6 years old, but he was 5 years old when he did his challenge. Now, Tony Hudgell doesn't have any legs because he hurt them when he was a baby. So he has to use prosthetic legs or artificial legs that help him to walk. As you can imagine, learning how to walk with prosthetic legs is really quite the challenge. He sometimes uses a frame and he sometimes uses sticks to help him along. It's also not a very fast process at the moment, and it takes a lot of effort to cover a very small piece of ground. But despite all of this, Tony decided that he would challenge himself to raise money for the hospital that helped him when he was a baby, that helped him sort his legs out. He aimed or set himself the challenge of trying to raise £500 to walk 10 kilometres. Not all in one go, but over a period of time. Now, that was a massive challenge for him, okay? Now, 10 kilometres, even for you or I, would be quite challenging. It's quite a long distance, but for him, because he can't move very quickly or easily, that is a massive challenge. Now, he said when he was asked that he was inspired by Sir Captain Tom Moore. He'd seen Sir Captain Tom Moore walking up and down his garden during kind of the early stages of lockdown last year, and it inspired him that if Sir Captain Tom Moore can do it, then so can I. So he set about his challenge in June, and he did it. What's more, he didn't only do it and raise the £500 that he wanted to raise for the hospital, he actually raised over £1 million, and he even got onto the news. I've got a picture to show you of him looking very, very proud of himself. Here he is. And I think he's got every right to look proud. He looks super proud in that picture, doesn't he? He's got every right to look proud. It's a massive achievement. Now, it was a personal challenge for him. He did it not for his own benefit, to kind of do himself good, but he did it for the benefit of others, for other children that might be injured in the way that he was injured and needed really specialist care from the hospital that he went to. And that in itself is inspiring, not only the kind of physical challenge that he set himself, but the inspiring part was that he did it for others. He did it for the benefit of others, not for himself. Now, I think we can all agree that Tony is a very brave little boy, and what he achieved is certainly something to be admired, and it's really, really inspiring. In fact, thinking back to my own achievement that I shared with you earlier about my embroidery, I think perhaps I ought to be a little bit more ambitious if I set myself a new challenge, and that leads me on to the next part of my assembly. What I'd like you to do now, and adults at home at school, you can pause me in a moment, is to take some time to think about a personal challenge that you could set yourself. It doesn't have to be particularly big or particularly impressive, but it does need to be something that you might actually be able to do. So I don't suggest you plan on climbing up Mount Everest anytime soon, for example, because that might be a bit much. Think perhaps of a challenge that, while it might stretch you personally, so it might be something that kind of pushes you out of your comfort zone, kind of pushes you a bit further than you think you can actually go. But whilst you might want to do that, I would like you to think of a challenge that could also benefit others, because don't forget, we're having a focus on community at the moment. Perhaps your challenge could involve something that would benefit others in your community. Now, don't forget, your family is a community, your school is a community, as well as the street or the local area where you live. So perhaps you could combine two things, a personal challenge that will also benefit others. Now, what I'd like you to do is just to pause about now, so that you could write down your idea or ideas in your remote learning exercise book at the back. And it would be good perhaps to share your ideas with adults at home or adults in school, because if others in your class are struggling for ideas, then your ideas might inspire them. So pause for a moment. Now, I am looking forward then to this week to hearing some stories, I hope, of people attempting interesting challenges. So if you do, or if you have come up with a really good idea of something you plan to do, And even more importantly, if you manage to do it, then I would love to know. Don't forget, we've got our school Twitter pages. Your families at home will be able to contact me via email if they want to share those things with me. But I really would like to know. And then I'd like to be able to share them with the wider school community through another assembly. So everybody, I hope that you have a good week. Don't forget, think about being inspired. Don't forget about that story of Tony Hudgell, the boy that really pushed himself and managed to do something really incredible. Perhaps you can aim to do something really incredible too this week. Have a good week. Don't forget, new workbooks kick off tomorrow. And if you haven't picked them up yet, please make sure that families that you come and collect those. Above all else, don't forget those all important 4 words. Work hard, be kind. Have a great week. See you soon.
Thank you, Mrs. Stevens, for another great values assembly. I'm just going to do the finishing off bits. I'm back out in the garage. It's not reading assembly. I'm stood in a slightly different place and I've got a different jacket on, just so you don't get confused. I'll be back in here tomorrow for reading assembly. Now, some shout outs before we move into most important 60 seconds. And I haven't forgotten about who will be triumphant. Anyway. Happy birthday today, Jessie in year 2. I know you're not in school at the moment, Jessie, so I hope you're having a great time at home. Get your learning done, enjoy your birthday in these strange times, and when I see you next you can tell me all about it. Also, shout out to every family, whether the child was there or not. Shout out to every family who came into school on their daily walk yesterday, picked up their workbooks. It was great to see so many of you. You got your workbooks, you got extra books, you got reading books, and you got a letter all about teams. And if you haven't got that letter yet, you'll be getting it in school if you're in school, or you can pick it up today. Don't forget, there's more workbook picking up this afternoon. Actually, it starts at 11:30, so it's kind of late morning and afternoon. Please try and get those things picked up and try to leave us with as few to deliver as possible. Not forgetting that they'll all be on the website as well. Okay, oh, hang on. There's one more shout out, isn't there? Oh, yes, there is. This is a shout out for anybody who's got an orange star, an orange asterisk in their workbook. Have a check. This is the last day of your workbooks. If you've got an orange star, an orange asterisk in your workbook, you get a double prize. Yes. You get to go on the Great Plate list. Yep. Lots of people very excited about that. If you've got an orange star, you get to go on the Great Plate list. And I'm going to throw in £3 on your Oakleaf Bookshop account. That's a double prize. Great Plate and £3. I need an email with you looking really excited with your orange star. Emailed head@stukeleymeadows.cams.sch.uk. Done. Right, okay. Mr. Jones, it's time for who will be triumphant. Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones.
Sorry.
The most important 60 seconds are coming up now. The most important 60 seconds are coming up now. What? He's done the wrong button. Sorry, we'll have to do triumphant tomorrow. Anyway, we haven't got long. 60 seconds. Come and get your books if you haven't picked them up already. Log into Teams and just say hello. That's all. You're not going to have a conversation with your teachers. Just say hello. I'm on Teams. Also, if you're an accelerated reader, that's a couple of year 1s and year 2, all the way up to year 6, you should have been quizzing This is now the 3rd week away from school, or in school if you're in school. Mrs. Hunt, one of our AR champions, one of them is going to print off a list of all the AR readers today, and I'm going to have a little look to see how you're doing. Right, I'll see you tomorrow. I need to go and warm up.